Enugu state-owned commercial airline Enugu Air, which launched operations on Monday, July 7th, has sparked online attention after a passenger was forcibly removed for one of its flights. A video circulating on social media shows officials dragging a male passenger off the aircraft. In the footage, a voice is heard saying, "Yes, yes, go down," suggesting that some bystanders appear to support the action. The reason behind the incident is yet to be clarified. The passenger has not been identified, and neither the airline nor the individual involved has issued a statement explaining what transpired. The plane, clearly marked with the Enugu Air logo, was captured on camera as the passenger was led away amid visible chaos.
I think he was an we are trouser earlier, now no slippers.
The incident follows a series of high-profile airline confrontations, including Comfort Emerson's clash with flight attendants on an Ibom Air flight from Uyo to Lagos, and King Wasiu Ayinde, popularly known as Kwam1 or K1 The Ultimate, reportedly involved in the disputes with ValueJet Airlines at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. Observers online have drawn comparisons between these cases, highlighting growing concerns about passenger airline interactions in Nigerian domestic flights. This channel had gathered some comments on social media. One Tolu Lope says, "I strongly think and believe that Nigeria airport officials, security, should be watching the way the U.S. airport security or the officials handle unruly passengers on the airplane. Here in the U.S., airport security or the police don't drag unruly passengers. Yes, they arrest them." X-Man says, "I wonder how people will bathe, dress well, get to the airport and become disruptive. If you feel that you are bigger than procedures, then drive your car to your destination." Eni Omukoro says, "Government must take decisive action on this act of turning the tarmac to a Yaba or any other motor park scene. Kwam1 and Ibom Emerson soft landing may influence more acts of indiscipline in our air transport areas, thereby posing danger to air travelers and aviation safety in business." Ex-Nigerian says he must have done something wrong, most likely one of those influencers with hot takes on issues. Jasper says, "Plane in Nigeria now is like entering Keke bus in Owerri." Daniel Adebanjo says, "What is the sudden epidemic of Nigerian misbehaving at the airport, especially at the tarmac or plane? This is becoming sickening." Isa says, "The behaviors common at motor parks are now manifesting on flights." Tunde Aloe says, "There will be no end to qualms until justice is done." Ali Olabisi says, "How grown-ups behave like toddlers is way beyond me." Marshall says, "It does quite appear that we are not ready to learn from our past errors as a nation, and people believe there are more civilized ways of handling issues like this. We are just not ready. Have you forgotten most people don't eat as expected anymore? Are some people's calls so empty?" IB Bryce says, "It's done something wrong. All these matured men won't be dragging you for no reason. We really need much more education in this country. Dave said, now to give him ambassadorship remain. Well, I think he's referring to Kwam One, who was given an ambassadorship for doing what he did. Okay, guys, so just tell me what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear from you as always. I mean, it's almost looked like it's become an issue. I mean, this is just what, like 2nd of September, and we're getting into 3 or even 4 issues. Remember the Oshomole's case? Yes, the Oshomole's case is also being counted. We have Kwam One being counted, Emerson being counted, and then this one is the sport one, and this is within a space of 3 months. That's when all these things are happening, and one would wonder, this is not even the peak period for flight usage. We all know that the peak period starts from this September through to January. So you wonder if there are more people flying. You can only tell how devastating, how crazy, these issues can be. I mean, I really don't know what the issues may be, but I wonder I wonder why you use that kind of force on somebody who is a customer. I know that there are people who would say, oh, well, when you are unruly, even with your money, you cannot be unruly and then want to fly. But then again, the way and manner that they're handling people, removing people's shoes. The other time we saw how they tore this lady's clothes. Like, when people force people to that extent, I begin to think whether really this is the right way, to go about these things. Festus Keyamo, who is the Minister for Aviation and Aerospace Management, have said that he was going to organize some sort of training. I don't know if that training has happened or it's about to happen or it's still on the works. So I'm just thinking, like, is it as a result of bad training, poor training, or is it the people are becoming unruly lately because of the amount that they pay? And I don't get it. It doesn't really add up. Nobody can really point towards one thing and say this is the reason why these things are happening. But again, I think by and large, with what I have seen, nobody pays that huge amount of money, dresses up and say, you know what, as I'm going to this plane today, I'm going to go and cause trouble. Nobody does that. So maybe it's between the airline operators and their staff, whatever it is that they feed them with or they tell them. Sometimes because by being polite, you can actually solve some problems, So if you look at the problem, the issues that Emerson had with the air hostess, you can very possibly say that the air hostess was the one at fault, given what the information that's available to us right now. But when the video first came out, it looked like Emerson was at fault. But by the 2nd, 3rd day, and then when the girl now gave her own account, you could practically tell that the lady, so-called, was the one that triggered her. So I really don't know. Maybe the training must come from those who are these airline operators and their staff who are on ground, who just feel too pompous or too big, or they feel they are not able to access the services, and when they see you accessing the services or paying for the flight or getting on the flight, they are hungry, they are saddened by the fact that you can afford it and they cannot. I don't know, the thing is just not added up properly. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from you as always.
I think he was an